I'm going to show you some really great techniques to use on your forearms. Now, most people who do anything with their hands at all have tight forearms. Whether or not it causes them a problem or not, their forearms are usually tight. What you want to do is place your hands on a padded surface. Now here I've got a bath towel, but it doesn't have to be a bath towel. You can use a couple hand towels, a rolled up sweatshirt, rolled up t-shirt, your boss's jacket, you know, anything that you've got, even rolled up newspaper if you have it. You just want to protect your bony surfaces from banging on a hard table. You can even use your lap if you're desperate. And what I'm doing is I'm using my other elbow, so I'm not having to use my other hand, because chances are your hand is a little bit overused if you're having any problems with it. Now, I have seen a video on YouTube where it says to, you know, stroke your hands this way. I've had people tell me their chiropractor told them to do this. I've had massage therapists take their elbow and go down my forearm. No, 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 no. You always want to go towards your heart on either your legs or your arms, because your veins have one-way valves in them. Your veins take the blood to the heart. If you're pushing this way hard, you're pushing against those valves. You're putting pressure against those valves, and those valves can break. That makes, at best, your circulatory system inefficient, can cause varicose veins, and at worst, those little valves which are no longer functional can break off, and they can be floating around your circulatory system until your body gets to destroy them, and those things floating around your circulatory system can cause problems if they land up in the wrong spot. Your lymph system also has one-way valves, and your lymph system only goes this way, and it takes waste products in this direction so they can be disposed of. You don't want to be pushing them the other way. You don't want fluids building up this way. You want to get rid of them. So you can, this way across your arm is okay, but you don't want to be putting pressure the opposite way of things that are flowing back to your heart. Okay, so here I'll start with the upper forearms, and it doesn't really matter where you start. Take your other elbow, and not the pointy part of the elbow, but the flat part next to it. Use your pointy part. It's more easy to cause bruising. How deep do you go? That depends on how tender you are. Most of the time these muscles will be pretty tender. I go pretty vigorous with mine. I will go across all parts of the forearm that I can reach, especially the pronator teres, which I mentioned in another video, which takes your arm and goes this way. This was mostly in this area, and those will be tight. I'll do the entire forearm down to the wrist, and I want to go across these tendon sheaths. Years ago, when I was trying to figure out things to do for my own arms, because I'm a massage therapist and my arms did get overused, I read an article on the internet about how some guys in a rowing team were using their thumbs to go across here because they were getting numb hands, and they found out that taking their thumb across there was very effective. Well, as a massage therapist, my thumbs are overused. So I like to use the elbow. Again, not the pointy part. Now, again, it's possible to bruise yourself. Now, who's controlling the pressure? You are. If you find that you're bruising yourself, lighten up. But it's better to get those muscles worked out, and even if you bruise yourself a little bit, than it is to leave them alone, because these muscles, like I said, are just about tight on everybody. Not everybody has a problem caused by them as far as numb hands go, but if your hands are numb, this is a very likely cause of what's causing it. And it's good to get those muscles loosened up anyway. Obviously, if your problem is coming from somewhere else along the nerve pathway, as far as the numbness in your hands, you know, you can massage this till your forearms are nice and loose. But if the impingement or pinching is coming from somewhere else, it's not going to affect the numbness in your hand. But this is very effective. And how long do you do this for? That kind of depends. Are you trying to prevent a problem? Are you trying to, you know, reverse a problem? Do you have a really bad problem with your forearms? And if they're really tender, if they're really tender, the tighter they are. But if I tell you 5 minutes and you've only got 1 minute, hey, do it for 1 minute. I like to get across these tendon areas really, really good. Now, what I would do is I would do this every day for a week for 5 minutes to see if it makes a big difference in you. I also work my hand muscles. If you're gripping a lot like you do in massage, these muscles here get tight. They're not causing numbness or pain because they're not going to pinch off your nerve waves, but it'll feel really, really good to get those guys loosened up. And I find this to be more effective than stretching. Maybe eventually we'll make a video on stretching of your forearms and hands, but this tends to loosen them up really quicker, for me anyway, than stretching does. You can get in the muscles. I'd work a little bit on the fingers too. You can do all your fingers on both sides. Usually the palm of the hand is, you know, got more problems than the back of the hand. I usually don't work these very much, but you can. I like to get those thumb muscles good because, like I said, I do grip a lot. Does it matter where you start? No. Do you have to watch this video while you're doing it? No. It really doesn't matter too much what your techniques are, as long as, you know, you're not using your pointy elbow, just using the side of your forearm a little bit. Close to the elbow works for me. And do I do this every day? No, I honestly don't. I find if I work my forearms at least once a week, I'm loosening up my forearms quicker than they're getting tight. Depends on what kind of occupation you have. If you're doing a lot of hammering or something, their forearms are going to get tight pretty quick. When I really work on my forearms is if I know I'm going to have a hard day the next day, or if I've just come off of a hard day. It really makes my hands feel good.